Okay, good evening, everyone. I, Riya Pawar, um, Policy Research and Advocacy Team Lead, would like to welcome you all to this session. First of all, I bid a very warm welcome to you guys and start by telling you guys more about the organization and Research and Advocacy Team, along with some major information about the event. So, Sarkari School AG's We Citizen Foundation is an initiative that seeks to bridge the distance between society and government schools. There exists a shadow today of stereotypes around Sarkari schools and their impact. A poor narrative that overlooks their successes and solely focuses on their inadequacies. Sarkari School aims to shift this narrative by equipping readers with facts and stories of resounding success and hope. It aspires to begin constructive dialogue between educators, policymakers, Sarkari school students, and teachers. With a multitude of projects under its wing like Project Gudya, Project Arogya, Project Vedna, Kahani Kosh, we at Sarkari School aim to uplift government schools. And the Policy Advocacy and Research team brings together young policy enthusiasts and budding researchers who aspire to make a difference. Our strategy is to work on policy research pertaining to various topics relevant to education in India. And it aims to serve as a knowledge platform for teachers, bureaucrats, policymakers, and other stakeholders. Today, we all are here to celebrate World Telecommunication and Information Society Day. This year, uh, the day focuses on empowering the least developed countries through information and communication technologies. The International Telecommunication Union calls on public private sectors to make a pledge for universal connectivity and digital transformation in developing countries with digital coalitions. So we are sure that this session will be a good intellectual exercise for everybody in the team. And this session will advance with this aim. And we are looking forward to hearing interesting arguments from everyone. So we will now begin with the debate. As per the rules, every speaker will get a time of 3 minutes, and there will be a warning bell on 2 minutes 30 seconds. So, first, the team that is in favor of the motion will go ahead. So, first speaker from the team for the motion, kindly proceed.
Hello, everyone. My name is Akanksha. So, I will be talking in favor of the Telecommunication and Information Society Day. So, as we all know, that the theme of the day, which Ria ma'am just said, is empowering the least developed countries through information and communication technologies. It is important because uh, the Sustainable Development Goal to fulfill which we have to uh, s- achieve by 2030, main important taker here is the least developed countries. And the least developed countries are one of the world's greatest untapped resources, which needs to be addressed to achieve the sustainable development goals. Investment in these young, vibrant countries can drive sustainable growth for generations. That is why digital transformation is very important, and for that, we need to focus on the telecommunication and information society. The background of World Telecommunication and Information Society Day is to help raise awareness of the possibilities that the use of internet and other information and communication technologies can bring to societies and economies, as well as of ways to bridge the digital divide. which is very important to bridge the digital divide. So 17th May marks the anniversary of signing the first international telegraph convention and the creation of International Telecommunication Union. So this was the first step which was taken on 17th May, and that is why we celebrate it. Uh, in 2005, World Summit on the Information Society, which was called on by the UN General Assembly, which declared 17th May as World Information Society Day, uh, focuses on stipulating the development of telecommunication and information. So the resolution which was passed was to stimulating reflection and exchanges of ideas on the theme adopted by the council, debating the various aspects of the theme with all partners in society, formulating a report reflecting national discussions on the issues. Here, the issue is related to telecommunication, underlining the theme uh, to all the members of the society. Some interesting facts which I would like to bring your attention to is in 2002, an estimated 407 million people in least developed countries were using the internet, which accounts to 36% of the population compared to 66% global. So, out of 66% global population, 36% global population is from least developed country, which is using internet. But the rest 720 million still are offline, which are majorly in least developed countries, which account to 27% of the people who are not using internet. So this is an important point, and that is why we need to focus on telecommunication and information. And so this step is a great to celebrate uh, the information and the connectivity which we have established, but also to make sure that we are not, done here, and a lot of things has to be uh, still we have to go through. So this is what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Akanksha. Now, first member from team against the motion. And also one more thing, like for some reason the bell is not audible, so I'll put in warning messages in the chat. Okay. Yeah. So please go ahead against the motion.
If I may, my name is Prathamesh Shripal, and I would like to speak against the motion raised. So, although we could agree with the points put by Akansha for mandatory for developing rather underdeveloped countries to have some sort of technological advancement for their inclusion and rather for the betterment. But the points that I would like to counter are, however nice or better feature and connectivity challenges. So considering that majority of the infrastructure for running the programs or having the resources that are required for the implementing such programs, if we are to include such infrastructural changes in already stressful rather stringent economy, that would create a havoc in the day-to-day life as well, as the least concerns of the countries involved technologically, but although it should be that it is that they need to look after their basic day-to-day needs, sadly the internet connectivity does not fall under the same. The next one is the digital divide and how technology disparities could be created just because the underdeveloped countries or the developing countries have been included, rather have been inclined towards the program. There is no set infrastructure. That is why there would not be a set specific formalities so as to what sort of data is being transferred. That could seriously lead to biasness, biased data. There could be some sort of propaganda spreading, and it would really impair the development, already stagnant development, and it would rather create a bit more backwardness than expected. So that is something that is really concerning. The next point, that is data privacy and security. Now we already there are certain countries, rather certain organizations in the world who sell data, personal data, to have some sort of advantage. The already stagnant infrastructure I want this hindering protect privacy and for the sake data is going to shared or whatever it is going to be part by law. So that is something is concerning. The big markets would and so considering there is no set infrastructure, and the set infrastructure also includes robust legal frameworks and other some sort of technological advancements. So that is something that should be seriously considered while we are going to take certain underdeveloped countries into our infrastructural development program with respect to technological advancements. Just to sum up whatever I said, why community information society would these are some and there are many significant needs to be addressed before structure, high costs, digital disparities, cultural barriers, etc. More hindrances, obstacles that stand in our way from implementing such advances into the underdeveloped countries. On comprehensive strategies that would prioritize infrastructural development and, most important, the security before we implement the data, before we implement such programs directly into the.
Okay. Next, someone from the team for the motion. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yes. Good morning, everyone. My name is Anjali, and I will like to talk in favor of it. So, the World Communication and Information Society mainly its purpose is to help raise awareness of the possibilities that the use of internet and other information and communication technologies can bring to societies and economies, as well as of ways to bridge the digital divide. Apart excuse me, miss. Apart from the a theme of the World Communication and Information Society Day 2023 is to empowering the least developed countries through information and communication technology. So the day urges companies and people to promote universal connectivity and digital transformation. Telecommunication and information technology has surely affected our lives and transformed it completely. The era of writing letters to each other would have not been over if it was not for technology. In this digital age, a day without electronics is certainly beyond imagination. Telecommunication have facilitated the way we communicate, educate ourselves, and carry out our productive activities, making their use an essential part of our daily lives. In addition to this, this has generated that our elders are left behind and have to be taught by the younger ones for inclusion in the society. There will come a time when everything will be digitalized as so everyone is forced to learn about telecommunication. It has affected all areas such as health through access to information or online diagnostics. In education, it has favored access to teaching resources. For all this, and after a global pandemic that millions of young people have lived, they have realized how important digital technologies are. Young people will inherit all the technological advances that are taking place today. But most importantly, they have a key role in the evaluation of digital platforms and services. This is where all companies opt for this generation as they are digital natives. The digital technologies have a key role to play in achieving healthier aging, but also in helping people build smarter cities and combat age discrimination in the workplace. All of this bring about the inclusion of the older people. So the purpose of the World Communication Information Day focuses on empowering the least developed countries to information and communication technologies. Also, the International Telecommunication Union calls on the public and private sector to make pledges for universal connectivity and digital transformation in these country continues through its partner to connect digital coalition. Uh, Thank you.
Thank you, Anjali.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, I believe now someone should speak against the motion.
Yes, may I speak? Yeah, okay. So just yeah, so everybody is talking about the connectivity and the advantages of connectivity in our daily life or advantage of telecommunication. But if we see what are the disadvantage of the telecommunication based education, or let's say telecommunication or technology limitation. If you talk about telecommunication limitation or technology, we can say that telecommunication based education will face a lot of challenges in terms of personal connection, hands-on learning, and which have technological barriers also. So if you see in India, remote learning lacks the personal interaction and social aspect of a traditional in-person education. Hands-on subject and skills may suffer due to the limitation of virtual platforms. Additionally, students from remote areas or low-income backgrounds may face difficulty accessing reliable internet and necessary devices, as Akansha pointed out, due to digital divide. Everybody doesn't have access. So which will lead to inequalities in educational opportunities and hindered participation in online learning. The other point I would like to build upon is building a close and supportive bond between teachers and students cannot happen in online world, because it is challenging to develop a personal connection without in-person interaction, which will lead to a potential lack of personalized attention and support. Apart from that, telecommunication based education can contribute to digital overload and distraction due to increased screen times within kids as well as adults. So this can have negative impacts on mental health and focus. Additionally, ensuring academic integrity and conducting assessment can be more challenging in remote learning, as it may be easier for students to cheat or plagiarize during online exam assessment, which is not the case with physical examination, which helps you to deal with the stress, pressure, and everything. But in the digital world, it cannot be, that scenario will not be there. Because if you see in the COVID pandemic, what happened, even if we were having the digital education, everything was digital, but the result, if you ask me, is not up to the mark, because a lot of people were just plagiarizing things or cheating, which was a lot more easier. Learning was not there. It was all just rote learning, and all those things were also becoming easy because students could cheat in those exams. So apart from that, remote learning may limit students' exposure to diverse social and culture experience compared to in-person education, which allows for greater interaction with peers from different backgrounds and foster cultural understanding and empathy. So I believe telecommunication may have advantages, but if you look at its limitation and other things, it will be better to understand it. Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Mukul. Next team, please raise your hands when
Can I go?
it's turn
Am I
for me.
audible,
Yes,
ma'am?
Bharat. Please.
Okay, ma'am. Hi, everyone. My name is Bharat Bis, and today I will be speaking in favor of the topic. So, what Mukul has said, I will completely agree with this thing. And what I believe is like here talking about negative points of the telecommunication, I would be highlighting the importance and the can offer to us in the future. So I will be talking about that things. So am I audible? Okay,
Yes, you are.
okay. So, from promoting the connectivity and inclusivity to driving innovation and economic growth, telecommunication and the information society hold an immense pleasure for a brighter future. Lots of problems can be solved by telecommunication and information society. So, here are some insights. First, we have is empowering individuals and communities. Uh, the widespread availability of telecommunication and the information resources empowers individuals to participate actively in society. It allows marginalized groups to amplify their voices, express their opinions, and advocate for social change. Through social media platforms and the digital communication tools, people can connect, collaborate, and organize for a common cause, leading to positive societal transformations and the realization of democratic ideas. Then we have is enhancing education and lifelong learning. Telecommunication and the information society offers a wealth of education resources that can enhance the learning opportunities for people of all ages. Online courses, virtual classrooms, and digital libraries enable access to quality education regardless of geographic location or social economic status. These platforms foster lifelong learning, skills development, and knowledge sharing, contribution to personal growth and employability. And the third thing that I will speak about that is the catalyzing innovation and in economic growth. So the telecommunication and information society act as a catalyst for innovation, entrepreneurship, and economic growth. They provide a platform for startups, small business, and individuals to showcase their ideas, products, and services on a global scale. By fostering an environment of connectivity and collaboration, these sectors drive technological advancement, create jobs, and contribute to economic prosperity. Fourth thing is improving governance and public services. The integration of telecommunication and information technologies in governance and public services can lead to more efficient and transparent system. E-government initiatives, digital platforms for citizen engagement, and data-driven decision-making process improve the delivery of public services, enhance accountability, and promote citizen participation. And these advancements in governance contribute to more inclusive, responsive, and democratic society. So yeah, these were the benefits of telecommunication and information society. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bharat.
Thank you.
Yes, next team.
Can I go?
Yes, please, Bhavna. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Over-reliance on telecommunication and the information society brings about several potential hazards that must be addressed. First is digital divide widens as not everyone has potential access to technology and the internet, depending social inequality. Second is privacy and security concerns arise from the constant collection and sharing of personal data without explicit consent, while cyber attacks pose threats to personal safety and national security. Moreover, the excessive reliance on screens for communication leads to social disconnect, isolation, and negative impacts on mental health. Additionally, disruption to telecommunication network and information system, whether due to the natural disaster or deliberate action, can cause a communication breakdown and economic disruption. Last is the advancement in technology may result in job displacement and income disparities, necessitating effort to reskill and upskill individuals to adapt to the changing job market and reduce inequalities to shape the better future. It is crucial to address these concerns and work toward inclusivity, data protection, and social connection, resilient infrastructure, and equal opportunities for all. Yeah, that's all from my side.
Okay, thank you. Next team. Yes, Abhi, please go ahead.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
All right. Panel, let's be really clear. This debate was about whether we think information technology is the future of the world. Side opposition might tell you a few harms of it, but what they can never contest is that it has to be a major factor in what the world looks like tomorrow. Down the bench, they've told you we have an over reliance on technology. We think that is precisely why the world tomorrow is one that is going to be molded by it. And therefore, we need to come up with ways in which it can be used sustainably, as opposed to criticizing a few marginal harms it has. But we think more than that. All the harms are actually expanded under their world. Because it's only when you limit the access of information technology that it gets limited to the most privileged, that it's not able to go to kids in rural India, but only to kids in the West. The internet will continue to exist. But if you criticize the expansion of it, it will only give benefits of information that are absolutely critical to people who are already privileged by structures of power. Apart from that, we think there are independent benefits of information technology being expanded. It's things like artificial intelligence, which is prevalent in every individual's lives. We have no clue how opposition thinks information technology will cause a harm when artificial intelligence in people's everyday lives helps them. Artificial intelligence within industries makes it more productive, which means that the economies of developing nations are able to flourish and we're able to get goods to consumers at cheaper cost. These are all massive benefits that are marginal compared to harms of mental health, which we think that individuals can actually use platforms like social media to deal with because they provide them an escape from the harsh reality that we live in. But more than that, we think uniquely what information technology has given us is a furthering of the process of globalization. This has occurred in two ways. We think one, it has created more information on what is happening in other parts of the world, which has expanded processes like liberalization. Because we think you might criticize westernization, but it's no doubt that has led to certain progressive ideologies, even coming to the developing world in countries like India, which means that groups from marginalized sectors are able to fight for their rights. We think that could not have happened without mobilization on platforms like social media and without expanding access to information. But secondly, it's also globalization in the economic sense because it's just far easier infrastructurally to set up MNCs in another country if you have access to informational technology to be able to communicate the needs and demands of a company. That's when you get things like more jobs being created, which helps everyone and specifically the poorest individuals on the ground. At the end of the day, regardless of any negative harms, the future was always going to be information technology. We think we were uniquely the site that was able to focus on how to improve it and how to make sure that people live better lives as a result. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Avni. Next team would please counter Avni right now.
Can I go?
Yeah.
All right. I would like to elaborate on 3 points. So firstly, privacy corrosion and surveillance concerns. The widespread use of telecommunication and information society can lead to privacy erosion and heightened surveillance. As individuals' personal information is collected, stored, and shared across various platforms, there is a heightened risk of data breaches, also identity theft and unauthorized access. Additionally, the potential for mass surveillance by governments or other entities raises concerns about privacy rights and civil liberties. Shaping the future of telecommunication and information society would, without robust policies and safeguards in place, can exaggerate these privacy and surveillance concerns, compromising individuals' rights to privacy and autonomy. Second point, I would like to say that there is a social isolation and disconnection. Of course, the increasing reliance on telecommunication can contribute to social isolation and disconnection, as mentioned before by other members. So shaping the future of telecommunication without considering the potential negative social impacts can advertly isolate individuals, weaken community bonds, and contribute to mental health issues. And the third point is job displacement and economic inequality. The rapid advancements in telecommunication and information society have the potential to disrupt labor markets and contribute to job displacement. Automation, artificial intelligence, and digitalization can replace certain job roles, leading to unemployment and economic inequality. Without thoughtful policies in place, the future shaped by telecommunication and information may exaggerate income disparities and create a digital divide in employment opportunities. So, addressing these concerns requires proactive policies to ensure that the benefits of technology are harnessed while supporting affected individuals through skilling and upskilling and social safety nets. So, yes, these are the 3 points I would like. Thank you.
Anyone? Would you like to counter her?
Yes, I would like to.
Please go ahead.
Yes, so all our speakers who spoke against telecommunication and information society brought few points. That is cyber safety issues. Then the no connect between or depression, isolation, and third is displacement of jobs. So all these three issues have answers in telecommunication and information accord, or so to say, our government is already planning to take actions on this. The first is cyber security issue or privacy issue. We already have data private law in place, that is a security law in place, which is already drafted. We already have a bill passed for it. So that is, I think, would be taken care of. And also the recent Aadhaar issue, Aadhaar judgment has also already said that privacy is a fundamental right and no one can breach. And that privacy includes both the digital privacy as well as the personal privacy. So we are already into the way for creating laws for taking care of the privacy. The second issue, which Mukul actually brought in against telecommunication, it was not against, it was the limitation of telecommunication, that the touch or the roots which students will not have, or during COVID, we had some issues when the classes were taken in virtual. We need to understand that new education policy is taking care of this by blending the offline as well as online mode, because if we don't go for online, we would limit ourselves to so many great speakers, which could not be possible if there is no virtual meeting. So for example, a great speaker who is in London can deliver a lecture in India, and it is possible to students in India who can't afford to go to London because of the virtual. So this is a two-way communication, and therefore I think that virtual classrooms are the new future. And then the third is displacement of jobs. We need to understand that jobs in current scenario may not be there in future, but new kind of jobs would be created. So for example, when Uber and Ola came, everyone thought that no one is going to take auto rickshaw; their jobs are going to be lost. But no, now that the auto rickshaws and the taxi drivers are collaborating with Uber, so new kind of jobs. So for example, when everyone thought that Zomato and Swiggy came, uh, hotels will not have that much intake of people. But what happened, maybe waiters numbers were reduced, but drivers number were increased because of as in the form of delivery boys. So new kind of jobs will always be created. So it would not be a jobless society, but a new job creation society. And for that, Skill India is a great initiative of the government, which will take care of this shift in the jobs. So that is what I wanted to counter. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Akanksha, for that point. Yes, Prathamesh, we will take up Prathamesh's argument last, and after that, we will conclude. So, Prathamesh, you can go ahead.
Thank you. So I would like to start by just saying, blindly trusting the government is basically surrendering your critical thinking. For it is through skepticism and vigilance that we ensure accountability and safeguard our dreams. Understanding, that government has enacted certain laws, certain data privacy concerns. There are other government laws that gives government the exact power to breach any sort of judicial review to access your data. One such law is the TADA Act, followed by the Act Against Terrorism, certain acts against terrorism, which basically gives the elected government, the duly elected government, all the rights to breach whatever data it is that you have been trying to, that is constitutionally protected, to ensure that you have not been doing anything wrong. That basically gives government the power to access the data that is again A, constitutionally protected, and B, otherwise won't be accessible in case it was not a justified case. However, the government has been constantly using acts such as armed forces acts, rather acts against terrorism, and certain other acts to just breach data. And that has been the case with not with just this government, but also other elected governments and around the world as well. So having faith in government rather than taking up telecommunication as an issue, rather an implemented program that could be implemented directly, is something that should not be prevented. It's something that should be prevented. Unlawful Activities Act, UAPA, has been the grand program where government has been continuously indulging into the data privacy. Pegasus and all the other programs have been constantly in place to breach the other acts that are being made by the government. So that is one thing that I would like to counter based on the government's plans to protect the data breaches by other players. But there have been cases when government could also fall in such acts. So that is what I would like to place here.
Yes, thank you very much, Prathamesh, for that argument. And yeah, with this, we would conclude today's debate. So, like, it was a really nice debate on part of everybody. So,
Yeah.
congratulations on
Hello.
successful completion of this debate. And yeah, technology is like, I guess technological changes are inevitable, whether you are in its favor or not. You eventually will have to adapt to them. So, on this note, let's quickly call Avni for concluding the session.
Thank you so much, Riya. On behalf of the Sarkari School, I would like to extend heartfelt thanks to everyone for attending this informational and enlightening debate on the day that celebrates the advancement of telecommunication and information through the internet. We'd like to thank all the participants who so willfully defended their positions, as well as the Sarkari School itself for giving us this platform. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Kindly stay back. We are going to announce the best speaker.
Yeah. Let's end the